Okay. Today I'm about to react why are people obsessed with Diet Coke. Oh boy. I don't know. Let's see.
Diet Coke is way more than just a nifty beverage or a way to cut back on sugar. It has become a way of life for many people, and the reason why is honestly a little disturbing. To Shopify for sponsoring this video. Diet Coke does not just sell well, it's become an integral part of some people's identity. Yeah, that's right. The Diet Coke person is now its own class of people with its own culture and
That's dumb. He said some of you guys need a rehab for Diet Coke. That's a fact. And I don't know who did the tattoo of Diet Coke. That sounds stupid.
Diet Coke person is now its own class of people with its
Like, really?
own culture and deeply held beliefs. Even the Washington Post recently described Diet Coke as a hardcore cult. In fact, pretty much every major news outlet seems to have run some kind of story on Diet Coke culture / addiction, from the New York Times to BuzzFeed. It's like they're obsessed, and I don't know if that says more about Diet Coke or about the media. Although you cannot totally blame them when we have presidents literally adding a Diet Coke button to the Oval Office and big name movie
Wait, you
stars
serious?
with their own personal Diet Coke. We have presidents
Wait, are you serious?
literally adding a Diet Coke button
Holy sh...
to the Oval Office and big name movie stars with their own personal Diet Coke fountains. A majorly controversial move on Affleck's part, I might add, seen as the fountain also dispersed Diet Pepsi. There are just no words to describe how heinously heretical that is, so we're just gonna move on like it never happened. Now, this craze has gone so far beyond just the celebrity class. It's a cheap, accessible beverage that people can drink instead of their morning coffee or instead of water, for that matter. It's an all-day, everyday deal for some people, and nothing else will do. But it all started as a means to address a specific health concern. Now, this probably isn't much of a surprise, but diet sodas were invented as a drink for persons with diabetes and cardiovascular problems back in the 50s. The first diet sodas used an artificial sweetener called cyclamen. It was discovered in 1937 by a grad student who decided to lick a substance in a chemistry lab only to discover that it was sweet. I have to say that's not a particularly reassuring origin story, but regardless of it, it inspired a multi-billion-dollar industry. Things can definitely go a lot worse when you start licking mysterious substances in chemistry labs, is all that I am saying. Now, the first generation of diet soda brands were actually sold in the medicine section at grocery stores because they were the only real sodas some people could safely drink. But from the beginning, low-calorie sodas attracted a far bigger fan base: dieters. Once brands figured this out, they started targeting this demographic specifically.
We can put the word diet somewhere on the can.
Partnering with very thin celebrities to build that association and slimness and glamour with their product. Coca-Cola entered the diet scene in 1963 when it introduced the world to Tab. But it wasn't until 1982 that they put the full force of their name and marketing prowess into the drink that would rock the soda world forever when they created Diet Coke. Introducing Diet Coke. This move came just after the health crisis. Diet Coke offered to a generation of people that was accustomed to soda but concerned about their growing waistlines. 1-calorie beverage with all the cool factor of the Coca-Cola name. Tab's success was a bit hit and miss, but the Diet Coke thing absolutely exploded like somebody dumped a truckload of Mentos into the Coke plant. Within just 1 year, it became the top-selling diet soft drink in the USA and the top soft drink brand among women. Now, to this day, Coke and Diet Coke lead the soft drink charge with little fear of being overtaken. Now, we're dealing with Coca-Cola here, so you may have been able to guess that the Diet Coke frenzy all started with a genius marketing and devious business tactic.
Excellent.
But you may be surprised at the lengths that Coca-Cola went to secure their lordship over over the soda world. The same year that they launched Diet Coke, the company flat out bought an entire movie studio. And not like a dinky no-name one either, but
So back in the day, Colombia,
Columbia Pictures, which produced
Columbia
titles like
Picture.
The Karate Kid and Ghostbusters under the Coca-Cola's ownership. But you know who doesn't need to buy out an entire dedicated movie studio just to get their word out about their brand? Shopify. Because they have us.
I don't care about you, Shopify.
Online marketplace. So
What the fuck?
to target then Hollywood and the fashion elite. All eyes were on these celebrities who were extremely to target then Hollywood and back into the video. Now, Coca-Cola really couldn't have picked a better demographic to target than Hollywood and the fashion elite. All eyes were on these celebrities who were extremely motivated to maintain that slim silhouette. Coca-Cola made sure that Diet Coke was in the hands of every high-profile model and actor they could find, and in fact would not even provide anything else at Columbia parties. Next thing you know, Diet Coke is the drink of choice in both the film and fashion worlds. The Guardian even went so far as to suggest that Diet Coke became synonymous with the fashion industry. Combine this with the rise of paparazzi culture, and Diet Coke was soon being portrayed in every household across the states as a legit fashion accessory, as well as a means of cultivating a slim figure. Now, brilliant marketing is only part of the picture though. The real magic of Diet Coke is that it is wildly addictive. The reason that Coca-Cola is mostly just mixed for your rum and Diet Coke is a freaking lifestyle comes down to the sweeteners that they use. See, I didn't know this, but it turns out that artificial sweeteners are like not even in the same league as sugar.
God damn.
Aspartame is
Sugar.
200 times sweeter than sucrose, which obviously gets the bar pretty high, meaning that anything else that you try afterwards is just gonna taste like cardboard in comparison. But it's not just that the stuff tastes way
Damn.
better either. It's that it might actually be changing the way your brain processes stuff too. We accidentally discovered something I think is pronounced as saccharin back in 1897. But for millions of years, the only way that most of us could get that sweetness hit was by eating sugary things. And here's a bit of sciencey stuff for you. Our bodies are designed to associate sweetness with calories. And today, we have a lot of that sweetness going on, but we've kind of stripped out the calories. So the artificial sweeteners in Diet Coke actually make you crave more calories. When your tongue tastes the sweetness of, say, aspartame, your brain expects a surge of calories to accompany it. But when it doesn't get that energy hit, your brain recalibrates and causes you to crave the calories that it was supposed to receive.
That's crazy.
As you can sort of imagine, this is a cycle where you just keep downing sodas after sodas after sodas while your brain just never really gets the satisfaction that it's looking for. And what this does is it means that your brain learns to respond to calories in not the most helpful or natural way. It becomes confused about what an actual calorie is and what just tastes like one. And this impairs your body's ability to properly respond to the calories you do eat. And just as an FYI, this effect is true of any non-calorie sweetener, including the golden child stevia. Stevia has a lot of things going for it in comparison to aspartame, but you probably don't want to be guzzling Zevia by the gallon either. Now combine this with the drink's caffeine content and delectable fizz, and perhaps you can see why so many people start developing literal addiction-like symptoms. Compulsive drinking, withdrawal symptoms, loss of control, the whole deal. It does not take long poking around on the internet or scrolling through the Diet Coke subreddit to come across a harrowing tale of Diet Coke lifestyles gone totally overboard. There's actually an entire Facebook group with thousands of members all wanting to quit this stuff. But one of the biggest factors in Diet Coke addiction is the fact that we developed a weird mentality that 0 calories is healthy. Now, it does seem like to a degree our culture is moving past that idea, which is encouraging. And yet this lingering lie is super easy to buy into when it means that you can go ham and drink as much of your favorite drink whenever you want. But this also kind of makes sense. This is a new phenomenon. It's not something that we've had centuries of experience with, and we're still learning about what it does to our bodies. We don't have a huge catalog of casual studies to make definitive claims about aspartame and the like. So it's tempting to dismiss the possible risks when we kind of don't even know what they are. But we can only live in ignorance for so long, because it turns out that there is a growing body of animal studies and human observational research connecting artificial sweeteners to a number of concerning issues, and that list keeps growing. Now, we're not going to go into all of them, but there may be increased risk here for glucose intolerance, diabetes, weight gain, and possibly cardiovascular disease, to name a few. So basically, all the things that we were trying to solve with diet soda might actually be exacerbated by it, which is insanely dumb. And that is sadly just talking about aspartame. We haven't even touched on tooth decay, osteoporosis, and who knows what else can actually happen from the other stuff that is in a can of Diet Coke. But here is honestly a genuine question. Are we surprised by this? Is anybody surprised by this back home? I mean, come on. When we decided to make this video, we were like, do we have to make this video? I mean, I feel like everybody knows this. But we also thought that about coffee pods when we made that video, and now that thing has like over 2 million views. So sometimes you just gotta cover your bases, I guess. Now, let's just be real for a second, because we're talking about a diet drink that was created from one of the sketchiest junk food purveyors in the history of humanity. When Coca-Cola came up with their soda, they talked about how they had an in-depth knowledge of our target consumer and the issue of weight in America, which sort of has me wondering, why did they have such an in-depth knowledge? Was it maybe because they helped create the American health crisis? They then deliberately chose not to advertise their new product as sugar-free because they didn't want to demonize their main line of corn syrup-laden sugar death bombs. Now, maybe for many of you, it would seem obvious that Diet Coke is not good for you and that this whole problem could have been avoided. But let me just give a perspective or a lens to look at these kinds of things for other people who might not be as enlightened as some of you. We're talking about a corporation that has been notoriously bad at creating sugary products that have led to health problems. Just a couple of years ago, they were caught trying to infiltrate the CDC to nudge them away from blaming sugary beverages for obesity issues by using company-funded research. And there's a ton of examples showing that they, sadly, believe it or not, do not have your health at the front of their mind. These are the last people that we should be taking diet advice from and probably buying diet products from either. Yes, we all want a quick fix, we want to have our cake and we want to eat it too, but the world unfortunately just doesn't work like that. If we really want to take care of our bodies, we're going to have to sacrifice some of these old habits that have been deeply ingrained into our society by these corporations that hate us. Well, I mean, they love us, but more so they love our money. But here is a little silver lining that I want to leave you with, because the good news is, turns out the longer that you go without Diet Coke, the less that your body craves them. Our bodies literally recalibrate and learn.
That's a fact. Yo, I like diet soda, but the one ginger ale, I only drink ginger ale diet soda because one, it's good for stomach ache, so I drink it for that. And it make you go to the bathroom. I don't know, it's something that diet ginger ale is really good. But every time I drink it, it made me want to drink again and again the next day. So my mind said, I want some Diet Coke. I want some diet ginger ale. And I keep buying it sometimes. I need to stop. It's not good for your health. And I'm on diet already, so...
to crave healthier things, and after a little while you might start to find yourself enjoying or even craving simpler tastes as you did before. Your body wants to do the right thing, and all you need to do is stop shoveling Diet Coke into your face, and maybe it might just get there. The real question for me is, if Diet Coke was the better version of regular Coke, and now Diet Coke is also terrible, is there another Diet Coke on the horizon? Like, what is healthy Coke if they keep having to make new, healthier versions of it? Now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure that you literally like it, and if you subscribe, then you'll see us next week for another episode.
I enjoy it. But that's crazy though. Diet Coke. I'm not drinking Diet Coke, man, but it is what it is. The only reason I would drink ginger ale, I already told you. That's it.